children, welcome back to English Period. Hope you all are safe, healthy and happy. Take care dears, and hope you have done. Course book that we have learned already is mainly concentrated on grammar and writing, and most of you have understood this already, right? Anyway, I have suggested this for the newcomers. Okay, so let's start our entry English literature reader. Our first chapter is Engine Trouble. Chapter 1, Engine Trouble by R.K. Narayan. So let's look into the author's part. Okay, here it is. Rasipuram Krishnaswamy Narayan. Who it is? And short form is R.K. Narayan, 1906 to 2001, is best known for his stories set in the fictional town of Malgudi in South India. Have you heard about Malgudi days? Yes, it's a very famous work by R.K. Narayan, and this story, Engine Trouble, is an extract from this Malgudi days. Okay. In a writing career of over 60 years, Narayan received his first major award from Sahitya Akademi in 1958 for his novel The Guide, and was also honored with Padma Bhushan in 1964. The events in this story depict a perfect tragicomic situation where the writer blends the tragic situation of the central character with a hint of comedy. Okay, so this is a humorous story. Hope you will enjoy the story. Okay, children, what do we mean by a lucky person? And would you like to try a lottery? Anyway, I'll show you something. Yeah, here we have three strange gifts. One is a giraffe, another is rocket, and third one is a road engine. And will you try such a gift if you have got a chance? Will you try like this? So this is the warm-up question here. What will you do if someone gives you one of these? Or if someone gives you any strange gift, any magical gift, what will you do with it? Okay, so try to do it yourself. Think yourself if you got a magical creature, an angel or a pixie, anything, or a very magical friend as a gift. You have to keep it as a secret, right? So where will you keep it? What will you do with these things? Okay, so think yourself and try to write a paragraph about if you get a strange and unusual gift as a birthday gift or something else, what will you do with it? Okay, so try to do it. So let's come back to our story. Okay, and here in the story we are going to explore an unusual experience by a man because of a lottery prize. Okay, you might have heard about lottery, right? So the winner, we have an assumption that they are the luckiest person, they got enough money and they're so lucky and all. So here in this story, Engine Trouble, we are going to experience an unusual experience by a man named Talkative Man. So here the speaker is named as Talkative Man. Okay, it is the writer himself. Okay, so this Talkative Man's experience is we are going to explore here, and of course it's a humorous narrative. This talks about how the theme of luck is unfolded. Okay, what do we mean by luck and what is the actual part of this luck and all. Okay, the person whom we expect lucky may not be actually lucky, right? Especially those who win lotteries and all, they might have been experiencing troubles and all. So this story, Engine Trouble, is going to reveal such a story. Okay, it's an ironical story of a man named Talkative Man, and here the speaker wins a lottery prize, that is a road engine, and everyone including this man becomes shocked and surprised, and his friends congratulated him. Even he himself thinks he is going to be very rich and lucky, but ironically this prize proved to be a headache for him. Okay, now it's time to read the rest of the part by yourself. Okay, so try to read it yourself, try to find out what happens at the end and how the story ends. Okay, is it interesting? I think it will be interesting. So try to find it yourself. Wish you all the very best. Anyway, today let's have a short summary of the story again. And after hearing this summary, you have to read yourself and you have to make the short summary of the chapter of your own language, and then you have to find out the question answers, textual question answers. Okay, and I have uploaded the images of the textbook in Google Classroom. You have to take the images and find out the textual question answers. I think 7 questions are there, and find out the answers for that. Okay, now let's start. Okay, shall we? Yeah, our topic is Engine Trouble. It is a humorous story, ironical story, talking about the trouble caused by a prize, a lottery prize, that is an road engine. Okay, so in the story, the speaker in the story is known as talkative man. You might have listened this. Okay, you might have noticed that this is a talkative man. Even though he called himself as a talkative man, that is the author, and he talks about some unusual experience in his life in the story. Okay, once a carnival called Gateland came to this one of the gymkhana grounds in his town, and it was a special ground. So, and also it is an ancient story, so that's why it happened in grounds and all. And in that time, you rarely these shows are coming. Okay, so all the people are enjoying. So here also this talkative man also on his way to enjoy this Gateland in Gymkhana ground, and he had seen usual exciting stalls in the fair, but the most popular was one of the stall of a lottery ticket. And he found that where everyone could win a prize for mere 8 annas. 8 annas here it represents money. Okay, it's a short money. So he found it is interesting, this lottery stall interesting, that he could get a prize by 8 annas only. So some of the prizes also were very interesting. It was just like expensive prize like camera, sewing machine and road engine, etc. So he became fascinated by this show, and he tried once. Okay, one day he also tried, and when the prizes were announced, this talkative man found himself that he had won the road engine. Okay, then he became shocked. So yeah, here it is here is the images of Gateland. Can you see? Yeah. And he was shocked, his friends were shocked, and he hadn't any idea how to transport this prize, because this is not a small prize, it's a big prize, huge prize, right? Have you ever seen a road engine? Here is the image. Can you see? Yeah. So he hasn't any idea how to transport it. Okay, now he was given time until the carnival closed by the talkative man to transport this, because since this is a huge prize. And his friends started congratulating him. They believed he could make a lot of money even if he sold it as a scrap. And he visited the fairgrounds every day to admire his road engine and grew quite fond of it too. And he also found himself so happy and excited about this road engine. And when the fair closed, the municipality, actually this ground is owned by municipality, this municipality asked him to move his property. What was his property? Yeah, road engine from the grounds. Or if he couldn't do this, he has to pay a fee of 10 rupees per month. Okay, if he is not able to transport this, or if he is not able to clear the ground, he had to pay 10 rupees per month as a fee, or as a token of rent. Okay, but here, even though 10 rupees is there is less amount for us, at that time, at ancient time, it was a big amount. Okay, so he has no other alternative, and the speaker paid the rent for 3 months. He had to pay the rent of this municipality for 3 months for this price. So now you can imagine what type of trouble he had faced. Okay, even though it is a prize, he had to pay money for this prize. Okay, and he was a poor man who could not afford it. Actually, as an ordinary man, he could not afford this much money. Now this boon, just like this, is turning into a bane. Now the results is going to be negative. But he hoped he would somehow come into a fortune that would end this financial drain, and he had. But couldn't. He didn't lose his hope. One day he is going to clear all this debt. That is how he thought. Okay, and he was desperate. He looked around everywhere for everyone for help, and once a temple priest offered to lend him the service of a temple elephant. Okay, have you ever seen an elephant? Yeah, you might have seen the elephant, right? Here is the image. Okay, so the elephant came for the rescue, and he had to seek the help of some men, and also he had to feed the elephant, and he had to give other than this elephant, he had to seek the help of 50 coolies also to move this road engine from the ground. Okay, now he planned to go to Madras to find a buyer for it, because since this since his town belongs to a small village, he could not find a person for buying this road engine. And also he thought that city like Madras might have such a person, so he has planned to move to Madras. Now Madras is known as Chennai. Okay, you might have heard about Chennai, right? Yeah, now he is going to he planned to go to Madras to find a person for buying this. Okay, and he even though he tried to move this road engine from with the help of these things, but it was not an easy task, and they tried to move it while the elephant dragged it one way and the people dragged it another way, and the driver was one of his old friend. The engine driver was a person named Joseph, and he was not at all qualified by this driving and all. And the men started making noise, and the elephants lost control, and the men ran away in fear. Totally confusion was there in the ground. Okay, now what happened? No, the engine bashed into a compound wall, and it broke a part of it, and the elephant also had some injuries. Okay, and also it broke in a compound wall. So the owner of this wall came there and slapped the speaker, slapped this talkative man, and he called the police, and police took him to the lockup in the police station. Okay, so all these things happened only because of this lottery prize. And when he was released, he did not know how to get out of the situation, and he was shocked at the thing, because what he had done is only to take he had taken a lottery prize, but all these problems were free with this lottery prize. Clear? So that is how it becomes a trouble for him. And now when he reached his home, his wife started threatening him by telling that she is going to go away from this house, because she had fear that he might ask her jewelry and all for clearing this debt. So what he has done, instead of blocking her, he encouraged her to do so, because he decided to run away from this village at that night. Okay, because he had no option. He had to pay a lot of money to the people, and he could not move this road engine alone, and he had a lot of troubles are there. So he became so worried, and he decided to run away from this village. As he was making preparations to leave the town, there was a great earthquake in North India, and its effects were also came into his town too. Okay, and the very next morning he could not run away from this village. So the very next morning he found his road engine in an old unused well, very dirty well, and he feared another expenses, he feared another problems because of this thing. But instead of the problems, here comes some blessing, because the owner of the well, this unused well, was the same person who was the owner of the broken well. And now this man thanked him profusely and offered him to clear all his commitment and uh, all his money, okay, that he had to pay to the people and elephant. All his debts will be cleared by this man. So he became surprised and he was asking why. Then this owner has cleared that the water in the well was very dirty, and the municipality had been sending him the notice to close this, and he had no option to close. This owner had no option to close this well, because it was a big well and he hadn't got anything to close it. At this time, this road engine was fell on this dirty well, and now it was closed completely, just like a cork you might have seen for the bottles and all. Yeah, now like a bottle closed, this well is completely closed by this road engine. Now the speaker was so relieved and he became happy. And after some days, he again have a look on this road engine while he had have a walk through that place. Then the speaker was relieved when one day he saw the mouth of the well neatly cemented by this road engine, and the owner of the dirty well had cleared this road engine completely by cementing this well. Okay. So this is the story. Whole story is about how he had happened to take a lottery, and he thought it as a very big prize, very huge prize. He is going to be rich, but instead he had a array of range of problems. At last he had to decided to move away from the place. At that time, God came here. Okay, means God gave there a help as in the form of an earthquake. Okay, and he had escaped from this. That is the whole story is about. Okay, and also you might have seen a lot of things. You might get more idea while you are reading. Okay, so try to read. Now let's have a critical view of the story. What is the irony? Even though it is a humorous story, some ironical things are here in the story that we can't believe. Okay, means that we can't digest. Something irony is there. So shall we discuss that also? Okay. Now in the story, the speaker uses the irony. Okay, through the whole story there is an irony. That means we can't do something not direct. What we are expecting is not there. Okay, or it might be the negative notion or the opposite notion that from what we have expected. It is definitely makes the text but more amusing and more interesting also. Okay, there's some surprise in each thing. And actually this irony start from the speaker winning a strange prize like a road engine, because we are not expecting such a prize in a real fair. Okay, have you ever seen such a fair or such a lottery prize? No. So that is the first ironical thing. So this prize proved to be a headache from the very beginning. Irony can also be seen in these situations like occurrence of earthquake also. Okay, in spite of being a natural disaster which caused so much destruction, ironically here it solved the speaker's problem. Actually, a natural disaster like earthquake make a lot of problems, but here, according to this story, there is no such problems. Instead, this earthquake became a happy ending, made a happy ending in the story. So this is also the ironical element of the story. Okay, now I think you might have got the idea, a short idea about the story. Now you try to read the story, try to find out the question answers, and try to make your own summary. If you need any more help, you can contact me. Thank you.